Bro, the job market's cooked. Nigga, the economy's cooked. Everything fried, bro. I'm post-grad, right? I graduated at 24, right? I know what day it is now. It's damn near a year of me trying to find a job. I thought that I was safe because I fly planes, right? I don't fly the airline. Anyway, I fly planes. Nigga, nobody's hiring. Everybody's posting jobs, nobody's hiring. It don't make sense. Bro, I went to this one spot, right? I'm so flexible. I will work and fly planes in any state, any place. I went to Hawaii, right? To Hawaii to apply to a job. She said, you know what? I decided, white woman, by the way, white woman. She said, I decided I only want to hire locals. This bitch is from Nebraska. The fine young lady is from Nebraska. What do we mean locals? You're not local. What are we talking about? Local? So I lied. Actually, I live here. I don't. But anything to get a job, please get to hire me. I said, I live here. She said, mind you, I'm in California at the time. She's like, okay, well, can you fly here tomorrow? I got the bag. Yes. First flight, red eye. I said, yes. She said, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Exactly. You wasn't expecting that. Nigga, expect the unexpected. So she was like, okay. She started making up shit, right? Start making up stuff. Oh, well, actually, we only have a part-time position. Hire me. Fuck it. I'll work. Like, I work for free. Fuck it. So she told me, so we only got a part-time position. I said, okay, cool. Bet. I'll pull up. Why not? She said, well, actually, it's always a well, actually. So then she put me onto this other spot. The other guy was hiring. I called him up. Hey, man, I'm a pilot. I got this, and this, all the requirements he need. I got them. I said, I got this requirement, right? He said, oh, cool, great. He said, can you come tomorrow? Yes. He said, do you live on an island? No, but I'm moving, right? These are all the answers I'm giving him, lying. But I can, though. He's like, okay, bet, where are you from? I said, California. He said, oh, you're from California? You're not from the island? Yeah, he got me there. I said, no, but I'm moving there in a week. He said, oh, okay. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. Nigga. I hang up he said, okay, perfect. He said, matter of fact, fly here on this date for this time, blah, blah, blah. Bet, I'm gonna buy the ticket. I email him, right? We hang up and email him. Hey, man, this is the ticket date I'm coming. Are we confirmed for the interview? Ghosted me. So then I called back. I'm like, hey, man, I haven't bought my ticket yet because you haven't confirmed the thing. He said, oh, I thought you already bought the ticket. If you can't make it here tomorrow, I got other people coming for the job. I bought the ticket immediately. I called back, hey, I bought the ticket. Oh, you're coming tomorrow? I thought you wasn't gonna come. Anybody that needs pilots or hiring pilots, please hit my line. Please!
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Barakatham. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachachodesh. Double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, this is, I'm entitled this one, Jake Doesn't Know That He's Under the Curses, okay? Hey, man, this is the reality, okay? And it's funny because I was going down that path of being a pilot, but you would have never thought that jobs would be scarce. Because I remember when I was in flight training that they were always talking about how job security, they need pilots so bad and all this and that. But this is just another sign, man, that Babylon the Great is crumbling, okay? America, Babylon the Great is crumbling. All right, this is, as I always say, the reason why it's called the American Dream is because you have to be asleep, all right, to believe in it. And don't get me wrong, all right, there's opportunities here, okay? But this is not a place you should put your trust in, okay? Because at the end of the day, this place is going to fall. It's getting worse and worse by the day, all right? And Trump is accelerating the destruction of Babylon the Great, all right? And we love it. Okay? It's being, so many things are happening, okay, all at once, all right? Then you have the other nations banding together to make war with America and the creation state of Israel. All these prophecies are coming to play, man, okay? But like I said, I want to focus on this topic. Jake doesn't know he's under the curses. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28:45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not to the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now that happened. All right. Obviously, we don't have yokes of iron upon our necks, in today's time. Okay. But we still, all right, have to serve our enemies. All right. For what? For hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. All right. If you want to do anything in this society, you have to pretty much damn near beg for an opportunity from your enemies, okay, those that despise you, all right, and that's the conditions that we're in. This is part of the curse. Is the fact that he's online begging for a job, he's applying for jobs for he said a year at this point. Okay, that tells you that we're under the curses, man. Okay, because we're supposed to be. If we were not under the curses, we'd be sovereign. We'd have our own land, livestock. Okay, make our own laws. All right, everything that you do in a society, you have to get permission, or it has to be sanctioned by your enemies, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, and pretty much you're really at their mercy, but really it's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai whose mercy you are at. Okay, which is the whole point of this lesson, because our people don't realize that. All right, Proverbs 16:7, it says, "When a man's ways please Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him." Okay, and this scripture can go many different ways. All right, when it comes to, for example, okay, if the Lord wants you to have a job, he can make sure you have a job. All right, if you could be on a job already, and people at the job hate you and they want to get you fired, but the Lord put a spirit on them to leave you alone. Okay, the Most High, he's in control of it all. All right, he's in control of all of our lives. Okay, and that's the reason why, once again, we constantly make these video epistles telling you to seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to the best of your ability. This is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, "Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord." Okay, so once again, if he wants you to have a job, if he wants you to have a nice house, you're going to have it. If he wants you to be sleeping on a park bench, that's where you're going to be sleeping. Okay, he's in full control. There's no Edomite that can stop you if Yahweh Bashem Yahushai wants you to have something. And that's one thing I love this scripture, because, matter of fact, I get one more before I bring out my point. Okay, I'm going to skip down to Sirach chapter 11 and verse 21. I'm going to click on it. It says, "Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing," here's the point, "for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich." So, if the Lord wants you to have something, you're going to have it. It's an easy thing for him to open up the doors of opportunity for you. Okay, and vice versa, which once again is the reason why we got to seek him first, and all these things that we desire will be given to us in due time. Okay, you have a saying in the world, they say, Jesus take the wheel, which the Lord's name ain't Jesus, it's Yahushai. But all right, in a sense, okay, I do kind of like that saying, because when you come into the truth, you realize that the Most High has full control over your destiny. All right, and that causes you, all right, to fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's the beginning of wisdom. Let me get this quick precept real fast. I believe it's Job. Let me see. What's the scripture? Maybe Job 23. All right, and I'm going to get in the NLT. Okay, here it is. Job chapter 23, and I'm going to start at verse 13 in that New Living Translation. It says, "But once he has made his decision, who can change his mind? Whatever he wants to do, he does. So he will do to me whatever he has planned. He controls my destiny." Okay, so if he wants you to have that pilot job, you're going to get it. See, a lot of Jakes, the vast majority of our people, they don't put the Lord first. Okay, they really not thinking about the Lord unless they're in calamity. Okay, unless they're in some kind of adversity. Then they want to pray. Then they want to cry to the Lord, which, there's nothing really wrong with that per se. That is the time. A lot of times he'll bring that adversity into your life for that purpose, to get you to seek him out. All right, but, once again, you come across these video epistles, you want to seek the Lord before calamity comes. Okay, you want to fear him before you end up in a situation where you're about to be on the streets homeless because you can't find work. All right. Continuing on, Job 23:15 in the NLT, it says, "No wonder I am so terrified in this presence. When I think of it, terror grips me." Okay, and that's really a wise man's mindset. The world tells you, okay, not to have fear or not to fear anything. Don't fear God, but love him. That's not biblical. Okay, biblically, we're supposed to fear him and love him. Okay, fear goes into that great level of respect and understanding, once again, that he is in full control of your destiny. All right. So let's get a few more scripts. It's something real short. I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 15. Okay, and this one, it reads, it says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt." Egypt, and we know to be America, Babylon the Great, okay, the house of bondage. Okay, and the Lord, it says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt." So he's going to make it to where there's no work anyways. Okay, eventually the whole society is going to be shut down. All right. It says, "Neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." Okay, so it's going to come to that eventually anyways, man. But once again, when society shuts down, ain't no jobs, chaos in the streets, martial law kicks off. All right, the only thing that you're going to have is your relationship with the Lord. So you need to build that ahead of time, all right, before you end up in dire straits. So this will be a closeout, but I'm going to get the book of Ecclesiastes in the New Living Translation, chapter 12. I'm going to read verses 1 through 4. It says, "Don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your Creator. Honor him in your youth before you grow old and say, 'Life is not pleasant anymore.'" And a lot of Jakes, while everything is all good, all right, they're not thinking about the Lord. Okay, and once again, that's a grave mistake. There's a scripture. Let me go ahead and read it right quick. Let me pull it up. Okay, it tells you about seeking the Lord early. This is Proverbs 8:17. It says, "I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me." But once again, for a lot of Jakes, you have to go through hell before you start seeking the Lord. All right, and it should not be so. This is Hosea 5:15. "I will go and return to my place." All right, so the Most High, he's hidden. That's nothing too. Okay, the curses that we're under is essentially the Most High hiding his face from us. Okay, so that's the reason why we're in the condition that we're in. Like I said, if he wants to move in your life, it's nothing for the Lord to make a poor man rich all of a sudden. Hosea 5:15, "I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early." Okay, so the Lord, he wants us to come and seek him and find him. And sometimes you have to catch hell to take on that mindset of seeking the Creator. All right, Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 2 now, it says, "Remember him before the light of the sun, moon, and stars is dim to your old eyes, and rain clouds continually darken your sky. Remember him before your legs, the guards of your house start to tremble, and before your shoulders the strong men stoop. Remember him before your teeth, your few remaining servants stop grinding, and before your eyes the woman looking through the windows see dimly. Remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades." See that? Okay, and that's what's going to happen for a lot of people. All right, that's what's going to happen to America, period. Okay, the Lord is going to shut this place down completely. And once again, the only thing you're going to be left with is your relationship with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Do you have one or do you not? And that's it, plain and simple. It says, "Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint." All right, so once again, okay, remember him before, disaster comes, before calamity hits. All right, because that's really all you have in this world. Okay, and that's one of the things you learn in this truth. Okay, we're really not even living. Our true life starts when Yahushua returns. Okay, we're really not even living right now. All right, we have nothing in this world. Okay, even if you got a career, a job, a house, car, wife and kids. All right, you really don't have anything in this world, man. All right, and it's not to be negative or pessimistic. It's just the truth, and you should not be attached to these things that you have in this society, because we know, according to prophecy, it's all going to fade away. Right, but we have something much greater coming for us on the other side. So there is a silver lining if we remain faithful and steadfast in this truth. So that's it. I'm going to close out. Okay, Yahweh Rajazah. It was edifying, uplifting, exhorting. And as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Wadash. And until next time, Shalom and abide with ball.